Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys my week. So I can edit the screen here. Week 3 of the PGL, the Pokemon Global League. We're taking on Max Rapture and the Tasmanian Toxicroaks, I believe, off the top of my head. And you guys see his team there, and it's actually cut off on my screen, but it is Tangrowth. So you see Tangrowth, Genesect, Magearna, Hydreigon, Tornadus, and Jolteon. Now, straight away, the problem for my team is that Jolteon, I really have, the only thing to switch into it is Rotom. Silvally, Dark doesn't switch into it, Primarina doesn't switch in, it can carry HP Ice, so that doesn't switch in. So, it was one of those problem mons I had to play around this game, and you can see he's going to challenge me to battle here. I believe I lead off with, was it Landorus or Rotom Heat? Because I'm getting a little bit of lag going on right now. Alright, so I lead off Greninja, and I was not staying in. I do have spikes on it, so I could have predicted the Thunderbolt and gone out into, could have stayed in, gone for the spikes. But he makes a different play here, and he goes for the, all-out Nightmare, which threw me off. As you're going to see, this is going to lag a little bit. Z-moves do not like being recorded, anyway with my computer, that is. And he just goes for the Never-Ending Nightmare, which does a great amount of damage to my Landorus. So this pretty much just hurts my Landorus for the rest of this game. It's Yache Berry is essentially useless at this point. So I was able to hard switch. I was just going to go out to Rotom just in case he did HP Ice, and he makes a good play, and he goes out into his Hydreigon. I was not staying in and taking damage, so I go hard into my Primarina because I do resist pretty much almost every attack it can get, as he just goes for the simple U-turn to go out into Young Pickle, the Tangrowth. Now, Ice Beam does about 90% to this Tangrowth, so I wasn't going to bother staying in, risking a Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb. So I'm just going to go out to my Silvally. Pretty much the most basic thing I can do is he's going to show off Sludge Bomb. It's going to do an okay amount of damage. I'm max HP, max special attack. Now, wasn't really sure what his Tangrowth was going to do, so I just go for the Parting Shot. I was Parting Shot, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Toxic. I could have Toxic the Tangrowth. Would have been a nice thing to do, but I was just unsure what he was going to do for move-wise. Didn't know if he was going to stay in, show knockoff, something like that. As he's just going to show off the Leech Seed, which is going to hurt my Landorus. And I thought at this point I lost my Landorus. I thought that I was going to be knocked out by Leech Seed and then into U-turn. He goes for the Protect. On the turn I go for the Stealth Rocks, which is actually very good because I want that Tornadus he has in the back taking 25% each turn. And he brought no hazard removal either, so I knew the Rocks and Spike stacking were actually very important because his team did not have any hazard removal. So being able to set up hazards to whittle down the Magearna and the Genesect were going to be very important for me to clean up late game. As I U-turn right into Rotom, as he's going to show the knockoff. I'm going to do very little because he is -2. Now, my Rotom loses recovery, which is actually very important for me to take on Genesect, which does get an attack boost from my Rotom set, and also for taking on Jolteon. Now, he's going to go out into Hydroponics as Hydreigon, as I'm just going to go for the Toxic here, and just try to whittle down anything that came in. His only two switch-ins were Magearna and his Genesect. Those are the only things that could switch into Toxic, otherwise nothing really like Toxic. And here he makes a good play. He's going to go for the U-turn. I believe he does go into Jolteon, which is going to take the Stealth Rock damage, but get its HP right back from my Volt Switch. So, me trying to wear down this Jolteon is actually a problem. Now, I have Thunder Wave to slow down the Genesect. I have Toxic for the Tangrowth. I have Overheat and Volt Switch. Now, I'm not going to waste an Overheat here on a potential non-knockout, so I'm just going to go to Silvally. Silvally at this point really just doesn't do much for me the rest of the battle. I can Parting Shot, make sure I get rid of some special attack on this thing. I can Flamethrower it, but not much I can do with it this game. It was mostly there for Necrozma, and he did not bring Necrozma, so this Silvally set really just did not end up working. I'm going to go to Choice Scarf Mienshao. Outspeeds everything on my opponent's team. As he stays in, he's going to take 35 to 45%, I believe it was, on the calc. And I'm just going to sack off my Silvally here to a Volt Switch. The right thing to do. Really just had no purpose, seeing as there was no Necrozma. So now this gives me initiative to see what Pokemon he's going to send out. If he does go out into his Hydreigon, now I have Assault Vested Primarina in the back, so I can take a hit from the Hydreigon if he wants to go for Dark Pulse or something. Assault Vest was there for the Mega Blastoise that he did not bring either. But you see me go into Mienshao here. This was mostly to U-turn, try and check this thing, as it does live with a little bit of health left, so I think he did have some HP investment. But I'm going to go out to Primarina now, in case he wants to U-turn. His Hydreigon's now pretty much going to die to rocks now, anytime it comes in, so that's a good thing, and that's one Pokemon I know later on in the day that will be gone. Now, here he goes out to his Tornadus. Was not sure why, because Primarina does get Ice Beam, and Choice Specs Ice Beam does KO Tornadus, even if it's at full health. So he did have to try to scout to see my set. As you're going to see here, he's going to show the substitute. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam here. I'm going to show him the Ice Beam, just so he can scout my set. Now he does have Regenerator Core going on here with the Tangrowth and the Tornadus. So that's something that I know is going to be very annoying. It's something I've ran before, and it's not fun to go against. He's going to withdraw Songbird, and I go for the Surf here, predicting one of his two Steel types to come in. And he does just that, goes out to his Magearna. And I did find out that he was Assault Vested Magearna, which is important because, I mean, this Surf does nothing. Did 25% maybe. And his Magearna does outspeed me. He's going to go for the Volt Switch. I'm able to tank it fairly well. The Assault Vest helped out with the damage. He's going to go out to Young Pickle here, as I just go for another Surf. And pretty much you're going to see how much damage Primarina does. And this is going to do solid 30% to this Tangrowth. At this point, it's well in range of Ice Beam killing this thing off. So if I can get rid of one of the two parts of the Regenerator Core, it's a great start. I did have enough speed in this to outspeed Tangrowth with some speed investment. So Tangrowth will fall to the Ice Beam. Primarina picking up its first kill as the Oregon Duckletts here in the PGL. Now, he brings out Jolteon. I could have risked it. I could take a Thunderbolt, but I was not going to play this reckless. So I just go out to my Landorus and just sack it off. There's no reason I need to keep it around. So it got the rocks up. It did what it needed to do. But he goes for the Thunderbolt. Probably just trying to pick off Primarina. He's going to show the HP Ice, in which the Yachi Berry pops and is completely useless here. 20 HP. I mean, Jolteon I think does even 70 through Yachi Berry, so it's not important at that point. I go out to Mienshao, just because it's something easy that I can take out his Jolteon with at this range. But he's just going to go out to Hydroponics. He's going to sack it off to the Stealth Rocks. Now here's where I got actually really worried, because this allowed his Genesect to really just come in for free at this point. He's going to go out to T800, his Genesect. He gets the attack boost from the Mienshao because I believe it was Hasty Nature. So I thought, you know what? Choice Banded E-Speed could possibly finish me off here. Everything's kind of weakened to the point where Choice Banded Extreme Speed is deadly to my team. I think it'll 2 or 3 hit KO Rotom. I mean, you're going to see just by the damage it does with the U-turn. does a decent amount of damage to me, and I was 52 defense, and then I had a bunch in special defense, mostly to take on this Tornadus. So you're going to see him take some stealth rock damage. Now, I wasn't really sure what he was going to do. I just went for the overheat, considering he still had the Jolteon in the back, and I feel like I needed to get rid of this Jolteon in order for me to win. If I can get rid of Jolteon, Primarina can eventually clean up, with the exception of possibly the Magearna, which does give me quite a bit of problems, actually. So he's going to go out to his Tornadus again. Now here's where I was a little worried, because Substitute actually does not get broken by Volt Switch. It's a roll for Substitute to be broken by -2 Volt Switch. So I was a little worried he went for Sub, but unfortunately he missed the Hurricane, which would have helped him in the long run with Rotom being weakened, so that his Genesect can pick it off easily. But here he's going to withdraw his Tornadus, thinking probably Ice Beam, as all I'm going to do is just get up a layer of spikes. Pretty much the only thing Greninja's done this season. It's been to all 3 games, but has not really made an impact. Well, here it's going to make a little bit of an impact, as it's going to get some spikes up. And I'm going to go for the U-turn here and try to get into something that can take a hit from his Magearna. And not really much on my team wants to take a hit from this Magearna, except for Rotom. And he's going to go for the Ice Beam here. Probably just predicting me to get another layer of spikes up. I was Focus Sash Greninja, so I could have gotten a layer of spikes up if I needed to, another layer. And he gets the freeze on the Ice Beam, and fortunate for me, I was able to thaw out, and Rotom's going to do what Rotom's been doing all season, and that is just damaging Pokemon. And he's going to show off Shadow Ball and Magearna, which surprised me. So he was, at the time I didn't know he was Assault Vested, but he was able to tank the Overheat first of all, and then hit me with the Shadow Ball. As Rotom's going to pick up its 5th kill of the season here, which is actually very important, because it's almost tied Metagross in kills so far this season. Here's Songbird going to take some Stealth Rock damage, as he's free to spam Hurricane now. I mean, Rotom's to the point where it's weakened, and Primarina's at the point where it's weakened as well. I can only take 1. And I do go out to my Primarina this turn. He's going to go for the Hurricane, and he is going to miss, and that just really matters because he could have killed Primarina with 2 Hurricanes in a row. And he's going to go for Hurricane again. No, that's right. He goes out to his Genesect. I'm going to go for the Surf here on the switch-in, as the Spikes and the Stealth Rocks do put Genesect in range of being knocked out by Surf. So Primarina is going to pick up its 2nd kill of the season. So the newbie on the team finally putting in the work it needs to. Pretty much the next man up. Aromatisse wasn't cutting it for me, so Primarina steps in and is able to put in the finest of work. He's going to go for the Hurricane here, and he will get the Confusion on this Hurricane. So similar position I was in the PMC where I had my Landorus confused. I was a little worried here because if I hit myself, I think I lose the game, because I did not have Ice Beam on Greninja. I only had Water Shuriken, which does not kill Tornadus, but I'm able to break through, hit the Tornadus with an Ice Beam, and like that, the Oregon Duckletts are now 3-0 here in the PGL, plus 14 differential. Good game to Max. Very unfortunate he missed 3 Hurricanes, I believe it was, and they all mattered because it would have put Rotom at such a low HP. You also have Primarina being knocked out by 2 straight Hurricanes, so those misses are very important. I did have Scarf and Yenshao in the back, so I mean, it could have made a difference, but not really sure what it would have done. I would have had to sack Greninja, but thankfully we're able to pick up a solid 4-0 win. Next week we will take on the League Commissioner Supagasi in Week 4. Now he does have a threatening team. There's Mega Venusaur, there's a Manaphy, so Next week's going to be a really hyped up game. Really looking forward to it. See if we can continue this momentum here in the PGL. If you guys enjoyed this battle, go ahead and leave a like on the video, comment your support for the Oregon Duckletts, and subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon Wi-Fi battling. But with all that being said, guys, I'm Johnny GB, and I'm out.